First contact. The starship Horizon drifted silently through the inky void of space, its sleek hull gleaming under the light of distant stars. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display before her. The ship's sensors had picked up an anomaly in a nearby system, and Elena's curiosity had gotten the better of her. "Status report, Lieutenant Chen," she called out, her voice steady despite the excitement bubbling within her. Chen, a wiry man with a shock of black hair, responded without looking up from his console. "All systems nominal, Captain. We're approaching the outer edge of the system now. Sensors are picking up. Wait, that can't be right." Elena raised an eyebrow. "What is it, Lieutenant?" "Ma'am, I'm detecting multiple ships in orbit around the third planet. They're not of any known design in our database." A hush fell over the bridge as the implications of Chen's words sank in. First contact. The moment humanity had been dreaming of for centuries was finally upon them. Elena took a deep breath, steadying herself. "All right, people. This is what we've trained for. Let's make humanity proud. Chen, open a channel on all frequencies. Let's say hello to our new neighbors." As Chen worked to establish communication, the main view screen flickered to life, revealing a breathtaking sight. The alien ships were unlike anything Elena had ever seen. They resembled massive, iridescent jellyfish, pulsing with an inner light that shifted through a spectrum of colors. Suddenly, a harsh, grating sound filled the bridge, causing several crew members to wince. It took Elena a moment to realize it was some form of language. "Translation matrix engaged," the ship's AI announced. A moment later, the alien's words became clear. "Unidentified vessel, you have entered restricted space. State your purpose or be destroyed." Elena's heart raced, but she kept her voice calm as she responded. "This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the Earth ship Horizon. We come in peace, seeking friendship and knowledge." There was a long pause before the alien responded. "Your kind is unknown to us. Prepare to be boarded. Any resistance will result in immediate termination." Before Elena could protest, a blinding light engulfed the bridge. When it faded, she found herself face to face with the aliens. They were tall, spindly creatures with translucent skin that pulsed with the same shifting colors as their ships. Multiple eyes blinked at her from elongated heads, and tentacle-like appendages twitched at their sides. "I am Zoxal, commander of the Luminary Defense Force," the lead alien announced, its voice a symphony of clicks and whistles. "Your presence here is a violation of our sovereign territory. Explain yourselves." Elena swallowed hard, fighting back the fear that threatened to overwhelm her. "Commander Zoxal, we had no knowledge of your territory. We are explorers from a distant world called Earth. Our mission is to seek out new life and establish peaceful relations with other species." Zoxal's eyes narrowed, skepticism evident in its posture. "A likely story. We have encountered many species in our long history, and all have eventually sought to conquer or exploit. Why should we believe you any different?" As Elena struggled to find the right words, a commotion near the back of the bridge caught everyone's attention. Whiskers, the ship's cat and unofficial mascot, had somehow escaped from the crew quarters and was now sauntering across the bridge, tail held high. The Luminari recoiled in shock, their tentacles writhing in agitation. "What manner of creature is this?" Zoxal demanded, a note of fear in its voice. Elena, momentarily confused by their reaction, replied, "That's just Whiskers, our ship's cat. He's harmless." To everyone's surprise, Dr. Amelia Foster, the ship's cyanobiologist, stepped forward and scooped Whiskers into her arms. The cat purred contentedly, rubbing its face against her cheek. The Luminari watched in fascination and horror. You control this beast?" Zoxal asked, incredulity evident in its voice. Dr. Foster laughed softly. "We don't control him. Whiskers is a companion, a pet. Many humans keep animals as companions." This revelation seemed to stun the Luminari. They huddled together, communicating in rapid clicks and whistles that the translation matrix couldn't keep up with. Finally, Zoxol turned back to Elena. In all our travels, we have never encountered a species capable of forming bonds with other creatures in this manner. It is intriguing. Perhaps we have judged you too hastily, humans. Elena seized the opportunity. Commander, we would be honored to share our knowledge and learn from you in return. Our differences could be the foundation for a strong alliance. Zoxol considered her words for a long moment before responding. Very well, Captain Rodriguez. We will not destroy your ship, for now. Instead, we invite you to our homeworld. There, you will face a series of trials to prove your worth and the truth of your words. As the luminary prepared to depart, Elena caught Dr. Foster's eye and mouthed a silent thank you. Who would have thought that a simple housecap would be the key to humanity's first successful alien encounter? As the horizon followed the luminary ships deeper into the system, Elena couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. The trials ahead would test them in ways they couldn't imagine, but she was determined to show the galaxy what humanity was truly capable of. Little did Elena know that this encounter was just the beginning. News of humanity's unique ability to bond with other creatures would soon spread across the stars, setting in motion a chain of events that would change the face of the galaxy forever. The age of humanity had begun, and the universe would never be the same. The taming expedition. The swirling lavender skies of Lumina Prime stretched endlessly above Captain Elena Rodriguez as she stood at the edge of a vast, crystalline plateau. The air hummed with an otherworldly energy, sending tingles across her skin. Behind her, the rest of her hand-picked team from the horizon fidgeted nervously, their eyes darting between the alien landscape and the imposing figures of their luminary hosts. Your trial begins now, humans, announced Zoxol, its voice resonating through the translucent fronds that served as its vocal apparatus. Behold the chasm of whispers. With a gesture of its shimmering tentacles, Zoxol directed their attention to a massive gorge that seemed to appear out of nowhere, as if the very fabric of reality had been torn asunder. From its depths rose a cacophony of eerie whispers and distant, haunting melodies. Dr. Amelia Foster stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her apprehension. Fascinating. The chasm seems to be emitting some form of psychic resonance. I've never seen anything like it. Zoxol's multiple eyes blinked in rapid succession, a gesture the humans had come to recognize as surprise. Your perception is keen, Dr. Foster. The Chasm of Whispers is home to our most revered and feared creatures, the echoes. For millennia, they have resisted all attempts at communication or control. Your task is simple: forge a bond with an echo and return with proof of your success. Elena exchanged glances with her team. This was precisely the kind of challenge they had prepared for, yet the alien nature of their surroundings made her wonder if any amount of preparation could have been enough. We accept your challenge, Commander Zoxol, Elena declared, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. How long do we have? One rotation of Lumina Prime, Zoxol replied. Should you fail, your ship and crew will be escorted from our territory, never to return. Should you succeed, well, let us say that the possibilities would be intriguing. As the luminary retreated, leaving the humans alone at the edge of the chasm, Elena gathered her team. All right, people, this is what we've trained for. Dr. Foster, what can you tell us about these echoes? Amelia consulted her handheld scanner, her brow furrowed in concentration. Based on the psychic emanations, I'd say they're some form of energy beings. Highly intelligent, possibly even sentient. The whispers we're hearing could be a form of communication. Lieutenant Chen, who had been uncharacteristically quiet until now, spoke up. Captain, I've been thinking. What if we approach this not as a taming mission, but as a first contact scenario? Elena nodded, a smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. Excellent thinking, Chen. We're not here to control these beings, but to understand them. All right, team, let's move out. Stay close and keep your minds open, literally and figuratively. As they descended into the chasm of whispers, the psychic resonance grew stronger. The whispers became more distinct, carrying fragments of emotions and memories that weren't their own. Several team members stumbled, overwhelmed by the alien sensations flooding their minds. "Focus, everyone," Elena commanded, her own head pounding with the effort of maintaining her mental barriers. "Remember your training. Visualize your thoughts as a calm lake. Let the whispers ripple across the surface, but don't let them disturb the depths." Hours passed as they ventured deeper into the chasm. The crystalline walls pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, responding to their presence in ways that defied explanation. Just as exhaustion began to set in, Dr. Foster's scanner erupted in a frenzy of beeps and whistles. "Captain, I'm detecting a massive concentration of psychic energy just ahead. I think we found an echo." Rounding the corner, the team came face to face, or rather mind to mind, with their quarry. The echo was a swirling vortex of iridescent energy, constantly shifting and reforming. As they watched, it coalesced into a rough approximation of a human form, mimicking their appearance. Elena stepped forward, her heart racing. "Hello," she said, both aloud and in her mind. "We come in peace and friendship." The echo's response was immediate and overwhelming. A torrent of images, emotions, and concepts flooded Elena's mind, threatening to sweep away her sense of self. She staggered, falling to her knees as she fought to process the alien consciousness. "Captain," Chen rushed to her side, but Elena held up a hand to stop him. "Wait," she gasped. I think I understand." With tremendous effort, Elena focused her thoughts, projecting an image of Earth, of humanity's journey to the stars, and of their desire for peaceful coexistence. She showed the echo their encounter with the luminary and their current mission. The echo's form flickered and pulsed as it processed this information. Then, to everyone's amazement, it began to change. The swirling energy coalesced into a more defined shape, a luminous, ethereal version of Whiskers, the ship's cat. Dr. Foster let out a soft gasp of wonder. "It's mimicking a form it perceives as non-threatening, based on our memories and emotions. Incredible." The echo Whiskers approached Elena, who remained kneeling on the ground. It rubbed its glowing form against her hand, and a sense of warmth and curiosity flooded her mind. In that moment, Elena understood that they had achieved something unprecedented, a true melding of human and alien consciousness. "We did it," Elena breathed, a tear sliding down her cheek as she gently stroked the echo Whiskers. "We've made first contact." As if in response, the walls of the chasm erupted in a dazzling display of light and color. The whispers that had haunted them throughout their journey coalesced into a harmonious chorus, welcoming them as friends. When they finally emerged from the chasm of whispers, the luminari were waiting. Zoxel's eyes widened at the sight of the echo Whiskers perched contentedly on Elena's shoulder. "Impossible," Zoxel whispered. "In all our history, no species has ever. How did you accomplish this?" Elena smiled, feeling the warm presence of the echo in her mind. "We didn't try to tame or control, Commander. We listened, we understood, and we offered friendship. Sometimes that's all it takes to bridge the greatest of divides." As news of their achievement spread, Elena knew that the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had proven itself not as conquerors, but as mediators and friends to all species, no matter how alien. The age of human diplomacy had dawned, and with it, the promise of a more united and understanding universe. Little did they know, this groundbreaking alliance would soon be put to the test, as an ancient threat stirred in the depths of space, threatening to unravel the very fabric of galactic civilization, the harmonic convergence. The news of humanity's unprecedented bond with the echoes spread across the galaxy like wildfire, igniting a spectrum of reactions from wonder to fear. Captain Elena Rodriguez found herself at the center of a cosmic storm, her small crew of the Horizon thrust into the limelight of interstellar politics. as the Lumina Prime's three suns aligned in a rare celestial event, casting an ethereal glow across the crystalline landscape. Elena stood before the galactic conclave. The Grand Assembly Hall was a marvel of alien architecture, its walls seemingly made of living light that pulsed with the thoughts and emotions of the gathered species. Order. Order in the conclave, boomed the voice of High Arbiter Xios, a being composed entirely of swirling plasma contained within an ornate exosuit. We are here to address the human phenomenon and its implications for the balance of power in our galaxy. Elena took a deep breath, feeling the comforting presence of the Echo Whiskers in her mind. The creature had refused to leave her side since their bonding in the chasm of whispers, becoming a constant companion and a bridge between human and alien thoughts. Esteemed members of the conclave, Elena began, her voice carried by the hall's psychic amplifiers. Humanity comes before you not as conquerors or disruptors, but as friends and mediators. Our ability to bond with the echoes is not a weapon, but a gift, one we hope to share with all species willing to open their minds and hearts. A cacophony of voices, both audible and telepathic, erupted from the assembled aliens. Some expressed wonder and hope, while others voiced skepticism and fear. "And why should we trust you?" challenged Ambassador Krill of the Vrexian hive, his insectoid mandibles clicking furiously. "For all we know, you could be using these echoes to spy on our thoughts, to manipulate our very beings." Before Elena could respond, a surprising ally came to her defense. Zoxol, the once skeptical Luminari commander, floated forward on a cushion of light. "I once shared your doubts, Ambassador Krill," Zoxol admitted, its translucent skin rippling with emotion. "But I have witnessed the humans' interactions firsthand. Their methods are not of control, but of harmony. They seek to understand, not to dominate." As the debate raged on, Dr. Amelia Foster noticed something strange. The living light walls of the assembly hall were pulsing more rapidly, their colors shifting in increasingly complex patterns. "Captain," she whispered urgently to Elena, "I think the hall itself is reacting to our presence. It's as if it's trying to communicate." Elena nodded, an idea forming in her mind. She stepped forward, gently quieting the squabbling aliens with a raised hand. "Esteemed members of the conclave," she said, her voice ringing with newfound purpose, "I believe this hall, this very seat of galactic governance, is more than it appears. With your permission, I'd like to attempt something unprecedented." High Arbiter Xios's plasma form crackled with curiosity. "Proceed, Captain Rodriguez, but be warned, any action deemed hostile will result in immediate." Elena didn't wait for him to finish. Closing her eyes, she reached out with her mind, not just to Echo Whiskers, but to the very walls of the hall itself. The Echo, understanding her intent, amplified her mental call, sending it resonating through the chamber. What happened next would be remembered for generations across 1,000 worlds. The walls of the conclave hall erupted in a symphony of light and color. Strands of luminescent energy began to weave through the air, connecting the minds of every being present. Suddenly, they were all linked in a vast psychic network, their thoughts and emotions flowing freely between species that had never before been able to truly understand one another. Gasps of awe and wonder filled the hall as age-old enemies found themselves experiencing each other's hopes and fears firsthand. The Vrexian hive and the Photon Collective, locked in a millennia-old Cold War, suddenly felt the weight of their shared history and the futility of their conflict. In the center of it all stood Elena, her mind a conduit for this impossible connection. Through her and Echo Whiskers, the very spirit of the conclave hall, an ancient, patient intelligence that had watched over countless debates and decisions, made itself known. "We are the harmony." A voice resonated in every mind present, ancient and new all at once. "We have waited eons for a species capable of bridging the gaps between minds, between souls. Humanity, in its beautiful, chaotic empathy, has finally awakened us." As the connection faded and the aliens came back to themselves, the hall was filled with a stunned silence. Then, one by one, representatives began to step forward, their eyes filled with a new understanding. I felt the dreams of stars, whispered a quantum neurovore, a species once thought incapable of emotion. And I tasted the joy of photosynthesis, added a Tyrillian gas giant, its massive form shimmering with excitement. High arbiter Xylos floated down to Elena, his plasma form glowing with an intensity that matched the wonder in his voice. Captain Rodriguez, in all my centuries, I never imagined. What you've done here today has changed everything. The barriers between our species, the misunderstandings have led to countless conflicts. They can finally be overcome. Elena smiled, feeling the weight of this monumental moment. This is only the beginning, High Arbiter. Humanity stands ready to serve as mediators to help foster this new era of understanding across the galaxy. As the conclave erupted into excited discussions of the future, Elena felt a tug on her mind from echo whiskers. In a flash of shared thought, she saw a vision of distant stars, of ancient threats stirring in the dark spaces between galaxies. She understood then that their journey was far from over. The age of isolation was ending. The age of harmony was just beginning. And humanity, with its unique gift of empathy and connection, would be at the forefront of the greatest adventure the galaxy had ever known. Little did they know, this newfound unity would soon face its greatest test, as the echoes of a long-forgotten war reached across time and space, threatening to unravel the very fabric of their fledgling alliance. The Quantum Carnival, the Galactic Conclave's decision to embrace humanity's gift of empathy and connection, had set the stage for an unprecedented era of cooperation. To celebrate this new age of harmony, the newly formed Intergalactic Council decided to host an event unlike any other, the Quantum Carnival. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood at the helm of the Horizon, now upgraded with technology from a dozen different species. The ship glided through a shimmering tunnel of folded spacetime, emerging into a pocket universe specially created for the carnival. By all the stars, Lieutenant Chen whispered, his eyes wide with wonder. Before them floated an impossible construct, a massive, ever-shifting structure that defied the laws of physics. It resembled a cosmic kaleidoscope, with fractals of light and matter constantly rearranging themselves into new, breathtaking configurations. "Welcome to the Nexus," a melodious voice echoed in their minds. A being of pure energy, one of the ancient harmony that had awakened during the conclave, materialized on the bridge. This is where all realities converge, where the boundaries between species, cultures, and even dimensions blur. Elena felt Echo Whisker's excitement rippling through their shared consciousness. "It's beautiful," she breathed. "But how do we interact with it?" The harmony being chimed with amusement. "You don't just interact, Captain. You become part of it. Are you ready to dive into the ultimate expression of unity?" Before Elena could respond, the horizon was enveloped in a dazzling burst of light. When it faded, they found themselves inside the Nexus, their physical forms transformed into malleable energy constructs. "Whoa!" Dr. Foster exclaimed, her voice a symphony of quantum fluctuations. "I can feel the fabric of reality itself." The Quantum Carnival was unlike anything they could have imagined. Beings from across the galaxy, and even from parallel universes, mingled in a celebration of diversity and unity. In one corner, a group of photonic entities engaged in a game of conceptual tag, their thoughts becoming vibrant streaks of light as they chased each other through probability fields. Nearby, a cluster of gravity manipulators from the Andromeda Galaxy demonstrated their art, weaving miniature black holes into intricate, dancing patterns. Elena and her crew wandered through the carnival, their senses overwhelmed by the sheer variety of experiences on offer. They tasted flavors that existed only in quantum superposition, heard music composed of gravitational waves, and played games that altered the very flow of time around them. As they explored, Elena noticed something peculiar. Certain areas of the Nexus seemed to flicker and destabilize, as if struggling to maintain their coherence. "Do you see that?" she asked Echo Whiskers mentally. The creature's response was a mixture of curiosity and concern. Their shared unease caught the attention of a nearby harmonic being. "You've noticed the disturbances," it hummed. "We had hoped to keep this from overshadowing the celebrations, but perhaps it's time you knew." The being led them to a secluded area of the Nexus, where a holographic display showcased various regions of the galaxy. Several areas were marked with pulsing red warnings. "We've detected anomalies," the Harmony explained. "Tears in the fabric of space-time, growing larger and more numerous. We believe they're emanating from a place beyond our universe, a place we call the Void." Helena felt a chill run through her energy form. "Is it dangerous?" "Potentially catastrophic," the being replied. "These tears could lead to the collapse of entire regions of space. We've managed to contain them so far, but our efforts are failing. We need a new approach. We need humanity's unique perspective." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the Nexus. The holographic display erupted with new warning signals as a massive tear began to form at the heart of the quantum carnival. "It's happening here," Elena exclaimed. "But how?" The harmonic being's form flickered with distress. "The Nexus. It must have attracted the Void's attention. Captain, we need your help. Your ability to connect, to bridge gaps. It might be our only hope of closing this tear before it destroys everything we've built." Elena looked at her crew, seeing the determination in their energy signatures. Without a word, they knew what had to be done. "What do you need us to do?" Elena asked, her resolve strengthening. "Form a link," the Harmony instructed, "not just with each other, but with every being in the Nexus. Channel the combined will of the carnival to push back against the Void." Elena nodded, reaching out with her mind. Echo whiskers amplified her call, sending it resonating through the quantum fabric of the Nexus. One by one, the carnival goers joined the link, their minds merging into a vast, collective consciousness. As the tear in reality grew, threatening to engulf the Nexus, Elena felt the weight of countless civilizations resting on her shoulders. She pushed harder, drawing on the strength and uniqueness of each connected being. In that moment, something extraordinary happened. The combined will of the carnival, channeled through Elena and Echo Whiskers, began to manifest physically. Streams of multicolored energy flowed from every participant, weaving together into a brilliant tapestry of unified thought and emotion. This living barrier of collective consciousness surged towards the tear, clashing with the encroaching nothingness of the Void. The two forces battled, reality itself buckling under the strain. Just when it seemed the Void would overwhelm them, Elena had an epiphany. "We're fighting it wrong," she realized. "We need to embrace it, understand it, just like we did with the Echoes." Shifting their approach, Elena guided the collective consciousness to unfold the tear gently, seeking to comprehend rather than combat. To everyone's amazement, the Void began to respond, its chaotic energy slowly harmonizing with the carnival's unified will. With a final, reality-shaking pulse, the tear closed. The Nexus stabilized, and the collective link gradually dissolved, leaving behind a profound sense of connection and accomplishment. As the carnival goers cheered, the harmonic being approached Elena, its energy form radiating with gratitude and awe. "You've done the impossible, Captain. You've not just closed a tear in reality, you've opened a door to understanding the Void itself." Elena smiled, feeling both exhilarated and exhausted. "We've only taken the first step. There's so much more to learn, to explore." As the Quantum Carnival resumed its joyous celebration, now with an undercurrent of renewed purpose, Elena knew that humanity's greatest challenge lay ahead. The Void was still out there, its nature and intentions unknown. But for the first time, the galaxy was truly united, and with understanding as their weapon and empathy as their shield, Elena believed they stood a chance against whatever the universe, or beyond, might throw at them. The next phase of their cosmic journey was about to begin, and it promised to be the most astonishing yet: the synaptic synchronicity. In the wake of the Quantum Carnival incident, the galaxy found itself on the brink of a new era. The encounter with the void had left an indelible mark on the collective consciousness of countless species. Captain Elena Rodriguez and her crew of the Horizon had become living legends, but with their newfound fame came an even greater responsibility. 6 lunar cycles after the carnival, Elena stood in the control chamber of the synaptic synchronicity array, a colossal structure that defied traditional physics. It was a collaborative effort of 1,000 worlds, designed to bridge the gap between normal space and the mysterious void. "Status report, Dr. Foster," Elena called out, her voice echoing through the crystalline chamber. Amelia's holographic form shimmered into existence, her data-infused avatar pulsing with streams of real-time information. "The array is at 97% synchronization, Captain. We're almost ready for the first full-scale test." Echo Whiskers, now evolved into a being of pure thought energy, swirled around Elena's consciousness, conveying a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "I know, old friend," Elena thought back. "This is bigger than anything we've faced before." The array itself was a marvel of multidimensional engineering. Countless tendrils of exotic matter stretched across light years, forming a neural network that mimicked the synapses of a cosmic brain. At its core, where Elena now stood, was the nexus point, a singularity of pure consciousness that would serve as a focal point for their expedition into the unknown. As the final preparations were made, representatives from across the galaxy gathered in the observation dome. There were beings of pure light, silicon-based intelligences, creatures that existed as probability waves, and countless others that defied easy categorization. All were united in their desire to understand the force that threatened their existence. High Arbiter Xylos, his plasma form now intertwined with streams of dark matter, approached Elena. "Captain Rodriguez, the Council has agreed. You will lead the first expedition into the void. Are you prepared for what you might find?" Elena nodded sullenly. "As prepared as anyone can be for the unknown, Arbiter. My team and I understand the risks." "Very well," Xylos crackled. "May the collective wisdom of our civilizations guide you." As Elena took her position at the heart of the nexus point, her hand-picked team of interdimensional explorers linked their minds with hers. There was Jorax, a quantum probability manipulator from the Cygnus arm; Capsule, a time-sensitive mycological network spanning 3 star systems; and Ilara, an AI construct housed in a body of programmable matter. Initiating synaptic synchronicity in 3, 2, 1, Dr. Foster's voice resonated through the chamber. The array hummed to life, its vast network lighting up like neurons firing across the galaxy. Elena felt the boundaries of her consciousness expand, merging with the very fabric of space-time. Echo Whisker's presence anchored her, preventing her essence from dissipating into the cosmic stream. As the power built to its crescendo, reality itself seemed to bend and warp around them. The observation dome filled with gasps and exclamations as those watching saw Elena and her team begin to shift and change, their forms becoming fluid and indistinct. With a flash of unlight that somehow outshone the stars, the expedition team vanished from normal space. Elena's first sensation was one of infinite expansion and contraction, as if she were breathing in universes and exhaling realities. Colors that had no name in any language swirled around her, and concepts that defied comprehension brushed against her mind. "Team, sound off," she thought, her words rippling through the nom-space around them. One by one, her companions signaled their presence. They had survived the transition, but where or what, they now were defied easy explanation. As they struggled to make sense of their surroundings, Elena became aware of something. A presence, vast beyond imagining, yet focused with terrifying intensity. "We are observed." Kexel's thoughts rang out, tinged with a fungal equivalent of awe. Before Elena could respond, the presence made itself known. It wasn't a voice, nor was it a thought. It was as if the very nature of existence rearranged itself to form a message. "Interlopers/explorers/kin. Why? Elena gathered her courage, projecting her thoughts as clearly as she could. We come seeking understanding. Our universe is being affected by yours. We want to find a way to coexist. There was a pause that seemed to last both an instant and an eternity. Then, understanding requires context. Witness. Suddenly, Elena and her team were plunged into a cascade of experiences. They saw the birth and death of countless universes, the rise and fall of realities so alien that merely perceiving them threatened to shatter their sanity. They witnessed the void not as an emptiness, but as a place of pure potential, where the laws of physics were more suggestion than rule. And through it all, they sensed the entities, that called this impossible realm home. The void-born, as Elena's mind labeled them, were to normal life what normal life was to subatomic particles. Their thoughts reshaped reality, their conflicts gave birth to galaxies, and their harmonies held the multiverse together. As the vision faded, Elena and her team found themselves forever changed. They had glimpsed the true nature of existence, and that knowledge burned within them like a newborn star. We understand your PLIHT, the void-born communicated. The barriers between our realms grow thin. This interests the US. Elena, striving to form coherent thoughts in the face of such cosmic revelations, managed to ask, can we find a way to stabilize the boundaries, to prevent the destruction of our universe? The response came not in words, but in a sudden flash of intuition. Elena saw the array not just as a tool for communication, but as a key to restructuring the very foundations of reality. With the right modifications, it could be used to harmonize the energies of normal space and the void, preventing catastrophic incursions. But there was a catch. Such an undertaking would require a level of cooperation unprecedented in the history of any universe. Every sentient being would need to lend their consciousness to the effort, creating a galactic gestalt capable of rewriting the laws of physics. It's possible, Elena breathed, the magnitude of the task before them both thrilling and terrifying. But it will change everything. As the Voidborn began to withdraw their attention, a final message resonated through the team's collective consciousness. The choice is yours. Divs ion LEDS to ENTYPY. UNITE OF at ER's possibilities. With another reality-bending flash, Elena and her team found themselves back in the array's control chamber. But they were no longer the same beings who had left. They were more, touched by the infinite, burdened with cosmic knowledge, and faced with a decision that would alter the fate of not just their galaxy, but all of existence. As the assembled representatives clamored for answers, Elena shared a knowing look with her team. Their real work, she realized, was only just beginning. The galaxy would need to evolve, to transcend its current limitations, if it hoped to face the challenges ahead. With a deep breath, Elena prepared to address the waiting crowd. The next chapter in the story of the universe was about to be written, and every being in creation would play a part. The age of singular species was ending. The era of cosmic unity was about to dawn. The quantum quilt of consciousness. The revelation from the void had set the galaxy ablaze with possibility and panic in equal measure. Captain Elena Rodriguez, forever changed by her encounter with the Voidborn, now stood at the precipice of the most ambitious project in the history of consciousness itself. The quantum quilt, as it came to be known, was not a physical construct, but a living, breathing tapestry of minds. Every sentient being, from the smallest quantum-dwelling microbe to the vast gas giant intelligences, was invited to contribute a thread of their consciousness to this cosmic weave. Elena, her form now a shimmering coalescence of light and thought, addressed the galactic conclave one final time. We stand at a crossroads of existence. Her voice resonated, carrying undertones of cosmic harmonies. To survive, we must transcend. To transcend, we must unite, not just in purpose, but in essence. The chamber, now a non-Euclidean space that adjusted to the nature of its occupants, hummed with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Echo Whiskers, once a simple ship's cat, now an interdimensional entity of pure empathy, helped translate the complex emotions rippling through the assembly. Dr. Amelia Foster, her consciousness now distributed across a network of quantum computers, projected a holographic model of the quantum quilt. Each consciousness will form a node, she explained, her words accompanied by bursts of data-rich imagery. Together, we'll create a meta-mind capable of restructuring the very fabric of our reality. As the galaxy prepared for the great melding, unexpected challenges arose. The hive mind of Sector 9 feared losing its individual drone identities. The silicon-based logicians of Omega Centauri struggled with the concept of emotional input. Even the energy beings of the Horsehead Nebula, usually eager for new experiences, hesitated at the prospect of such intimate connection. Elena and her team worked tirelessly, addressing fears, smoothing over conflicts, and demonstrating the beauty of unity through diversity. Echo Whiskers played a crucial role, its ability to bridge emotional gaps proving invaluable in bringing disparate species together. Finally, after what seemed like both an eternity and a mere moment, the day of convergence arrived. The synaptic synchronicity array, now expanded to encompass the entire galaxy, hummed with potential. At trillions of nodal points, beings of all shapes, sizes, and states of matter prepared to contribute their essence to the quilt. Elena took her place at the nexus, her form pulsing with the combined anxiety and hope of countless civilizations. With a thought, she initiated the sequence. It began slowly at first, tendrils of consciousness reaching out, tentatively brushing against one another. Then, like a cascading wave of cognition, the connections multiplied exponentially. Barriers of species, of culture, of dimensional perception, all fell away as the quilt took shape. Elena felt herself stretched across vast cosmic distances, her mind touching those of beings so alien she could scarcely comprehend them. Yet in this touch, there was understanding. The silicon logic of the Omega Centauri melded seamlessly with the emotional resonance of the Horsehead Nebula. The individual drones of Sector 9 found they could maintain their identities while contributing to a greater whole. As the quilt neared completion, reality itself began to shift. The boundaries between normal space and the void shimmer visualization of the quantum quilt click to open image ed, becoming permeable yet stable. The Voidborn, sensing the change, reached out with tendrils of unthought, their cosmic curiosity piqued by this new development. In that moment of convergence, as the collective will of an entire galaxy focused through the lens of Elena's void-touched consciousness, a miracle occurred. The quantum quilt became more than the sum of its parts. It achieved sentience on a scale never before imagined. Elena felt herself both dissolve into and expand beyond the quilt. She was everywhere and everyone, experiencing the totality of galactic history in a single eternal moment. Through her, through all of them, the quilt spoke. We UNDRSTNT. We REWRIT. Reality flickered, pulsed, and reshaped itself. The tiers between dimensions sealed themselves, not through force, but through a fundamental reimagining of the laws that governed existence. The void and normal space were no longer separate, but complementary aspects of a greater whole. As the new cosmic order settled into place, Elena found herself once again individuated, yet forever changed. The connection remained, a subtle undertone of unity linking every consciousness in the galaxy. The assembled beings, now awakening to their new existence, marveled at the transformation. They could feel the pulse of stars, the birth of planets, the very ebb and flow of cosmic energies. More importantly, they understood their place in this grand tapestry of life. High Arbiter Xylos, his form now a mesmerizing dance of plasma and dark matter, approached Elena. "Captain, no, Weaver Rodriguez," he said, his voice carrying newfound depths of emotion. "You have guided us into a new age. What happens now?" Elena smiled, feeling the gentle presence of echo whiskers and the rest of her team in the back of her mind. Now, she said, her words rippling with possibilities, we explore. We have reshaped the foundation of reality itself. Imagine what we can discover, what we can create, now that we truly understand the art of unity. As if in response, a pulse of invitation radiated from the former void. The voidborn, no longer separate, but a part of the new cosmic ecology, beckoned. There were new realms to explore, new forms of existence to comprehend, and new challenges that would require the full creativity of their unified consciousness. Elena looked out at the assembly, beings of unimaginable diversity now linked in profound understanding. "Who's ready for the next adventure?" she asked, her eyes twinkling with the light of newborn stars. The response was unanimous, a chorus of thought and emotion that resonated through the very fabric of their rewritten reality. As one, yet beautifully individual, the inhabitants of the galaxy prepared to embark on the greatest journey of all, the exploration of their newfound, infinite potential. And so, the next chapter of existence began, written not in the ink of singular,